So how are you guys doing? God, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Good.
Still in the throes of work?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the tail end of post-production right now. It's with the sound editor, so we'll probably have another month and a half, I think, realistically, before we have a finished product.
Very cool, very cool. Well, listen, let's start with development. Firstly, a lot of people, I just thought this would be interesting because a lot of people, I was saying earlier, that a lot of people will walk into a movie theater and just start watching a movie and kind of like, oh, it just fell out of the sky this way. It takes so much to get it from an idea in your mind to actually being lit up across the screen, across the white screen. So firstly, I would say it's a long process, it's a difficult process, but it's often rewarding, of course. So what would be the best advice that you could offer someone before embarking on something like this?
Don't.
Be very patient.
Yes.
I think preparation is key, and I think it's important to realize how long something like this is going to take. Initially, Josh and I sat down about a year and a half ago, getting this whole process rolling, and I don't think I even began to imagine the fact that it would take us a year to make it happen, and then it was going to be another year until we actually saw some real results and some money from this whole situation. But I think part of the reason that we were able to do it, and we were able to do it at the budget we were, is that the level of pre-production that we put into it. Really spending as much time as possible making sure we had every spreadsheet you could possibly imagine, and every sort of possibility was accounted for. I think that was probably one of our greatest strengths as a team, was also combining what each one of us does well and trying to bring it out to the table. There you go, something like this.
Excellent. So getting a good team together would be your best advice.
Yeah, and not necessarily your best of friends. You want to get people that are going to butt heads occasionally and say, no, this is the better way to do it, so that you can continue to build on that. Because I've worked with so many productions, especially on an amateur level, where it's a group of friends, and so it's nothing but yes men, and everybody's just, oh, that's a great idea,
Yeah.
So
we don't like each other at all.
We actually hate each other.
That's why we work so well together.
But there is a truth to that. We don't hate each other, but we don't love each other like college roommates, and so it's not that thing of like everything you do is magic.
Yeah,
right. I think that's ended up why we found a little magic. We were able to create a little bit.
Yeah, and it sounds like you also respect each other's knowledge on what positions you hold.
Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of times where we were dealing with passing it up to the sound editor. Ryan would get back to me with the issue about whether or not it was ready and whether or not we should be working on the sound as is. And I'm like, Ryan, I have no idea. I don't know anything about sound. So you tell me.
Good call, Josh.
Yeah, I think for years as a filmmaker, it's always been people just tell you, well, if you want to make movies, just do it. Just make the movie. Just do it. And that's really, really true up to an extent. Right. And I think it's true up to the point where you're dealing with other people's money. And it's like, well, now you're making a movie with other people's money, so you shouldn't just rush in and do it. You really should learn what to do first and then do it.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Film, once you do it, it's too late. You don't get a second chance.
Exactly, you have to take a moment, stop yourself and say, what exactly are we all here, what are we doing?
And we did that over the course of a year and a half. I mean, we did a short webisode type pilot thing. Then we did just a series of little short video contests from 30 seconds to a minute long. It's like 4 or 5 in a row, just producing them just to kind of, work together and get the juices flowing. And then finally, after all that time, we were able to scratch the money together, get the script ready, and we're ready to shoot. But it certainly was a long preparation process.
But there certainly was an element of just do it.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many stumbling blocks that we hit along the way. Losing locations and people quitting and et cetera, et cetera. But it just didn't matter. Like, it did not matter. We were going to shoot a feature film. And it didn't matter what the budget was, and it didn't matter how it was going to happen. Josh and I made a clear decision that we were going to shoot a feature film. And, thankfully a few things did happen that set us off in different directions that we never would have expected. Like, we ended up having to postpone principal photography by 2 weeks. But had we not done that, we would have been caught in one of the worst storms that New York had in years. And there were all sorts of little things like that where you're sort of like, boy, the film gods are smiling upon us. But because of that, it was like that same thing. It was like, well, they're smiling, so keep working, keep going. And I think that sort of that blind mentality of like, we're going to shoot a fucking film and I don't care.
Yes, right.
That got us to do it.
You get in the zone.
Because had we waited for it to be perfect and to found the right actor to play John,
Yeah, right.
and da, you know, it was just like, well, Josh wrote the script and Josh is going to be the cheapest actor, so I'm not going to pay him a dime. So
Yeah.
there we go. We've got our lead man, you know. We could have searched forever.
We don't
and
have
I
to
think
feed,
some
we
people
don't have to
do.
feed him.
No feeding, no housing, no transportation. Can he speak English? He's cast.